I'm one of the founders of Investment Navigator. Started 5 years ago. I make a really quick introduction to the company. Since now over 5 years, we are developing and providing suitability outcomes globally. So we're not only doing that here in Switzerland, we have clients over in 9 countries, even an office in Singapore. Probably at the moment around 100 independent asset managers here in Switzerland, which are having access to our services, which we developed in collaboration with UBS. But probably you're actually this morning here for another topic, not from our company. It's the rise of auto compliance. Over the last 5 years, what we are doing every day is asking ourselves, how can we support you to automate in the background the checks that you have to do? But probably what you're also already thinking of, it's not only in finance that we are going to have a huge increase in compliance checks, which are going to happen automatically in your background. I just saw this morning a Tesla fan. I don't know if it's here. Yeah, there. I love that car because I'm commuting every day with my car. Unfortunately, not a Tesla, it's a Mini, so I have to drive myself. It's, lost time. And the great thing about the Tesla, you press, I think, 2 buttons or 1 button to autopilot. One, perfect. And then it's actually taken everything into consideration, all the rules in the traffic. It's taken care that it has enough distance, so it takes in consideration the law which actually applies on the streets. This is a good case. I think it's bringing a lot of added value to us in our daily work, daily life. On the other side, if you look now to China, there you have face recognition. The way how you cross the street, the way how you treat people, everything is recorded, and you get bonus if you're doing it well. You get downgrades if you're not doing well, and fully automated at the background. And this is going to be a huge question: how we are going to cope with the new technologies, taking into consideration what we are doing in a daily work and daily life. But let's go back. Where are we coming from? 50 years ago, I hope you can see it, it's Apollo 11. Huge step for mankind. And it had an amazing compute on board, 32 kilos. I think it had the RAM of, I don't know, actually the smallest RAM you can actually produce. With this thing, you can fly to the moon and get back. Nowadays, it's the iPhone 5. I don't know if you watched the Apple show, I think this week, or no, last week. Now we have the iPhone 11. With an iPhone 5 already, you were able to control 120 million Apollo 11s. So probably everyone could fly by himself up and come back to Earth. And the whole calculation power we're using to play Angry Birds and to send around gifts of cats. This is the main use of mobiles. So it's an amazing, technology that you have in your pockets, and actually not really well efficiently used at the moment. On the other hand, cloud solutions. And the funny thing about cloud, if probably I'm asking you, you probably is going to be for you saving, your pictures, videos on a cloud basis, so you can access that through different iPads, iPhones, whatever. But what is amazing already, you get access to a lot of computer power. So this is a case of Google. It's actually introduced last year. It's actually an intelligent chatbot. So when you're writing with your colleague and your friends, and you would like to have an appointment to go out for an Italian restaurant, the system recognizes what you're writing and proposes right away. With one click, you get the information that you need. How's the weather? Then the system already provides you automatically the link. You don't have to switch the app. You get automatically to the information. So what is going to happen over the next few years, that going forward, it's not your computer on your desk providing you the service. It's something going to be in the cloud. And probably, who has the Netflix account? Probably everyone. So you're already using this technology in the background. It proposes you automatically the right next series. It gives you access to everyone at the same time to see the same movie, etc. And looking forward, this fall, what's going to happen is the game industry is going to change completely. Google and Apple are going to launch cloud-based game infrastructure. So for your kids, this Christmas, you don't have to buy anymore the PlayStation or the Xbox, whatever. You just buy an account. You pay $10 every month. He can play as much he wants. You don't have any more, how can I say, the huge calculation power in your house. Now, look into that. How can we use that to reduce all the fines which are taking place at the moment? Still, even 10 years after the financial crisis, still taking place within banks. The thing is, why it's not perfectly working in the financial industry? And this is a funny case. It's actually, probably you know that when you're writing SMS or chat, you may have an autocorrect in there. So this is a case where apparently Janet, boyfriend, he apologized, 1,000 times and asked what more to do you want. And she answers, action speaks louder than one but. One but. And then she realizes, no, it's words. That was funny, but I'm still really mad at you. I don't know how many relationships actually crashed due to autocorrect. And this is a funny case because probably you realize that by yourself, if you're writing something in Word, an SMS, whatever, the system sometimes proposes you alternatives which are not really, really perfect. So in the financial sector, it's going to be quite important to understand how such algorithms work. Another case, the challenge with compliance rules is actually they're developed by people. And there are people out there that would like actually to overcome them. So you have a lot of cases like HSBC, Societe Generale, UBS, a lot of Barings Bank, they were all control processes in place, but people knew how actually to hack them. And this is a funny case. It's actually face recognition. And probably if you have an iPhone already or a Google handy, you can actually use it to actually unlock your mobile. Now, this technology is already used, for example, in border controls, airport of Zurich. You put your passport, it's scanned, you make a step forward, the camera is actually checking that against your profile and you can pass. Now, this technology, you can hack easily by wearing glasses, which have funny colors. And the system, the artificial intelligence, suddenly, this is a man, suddenly it's a beautiful wife. And the same, happens that suddenly people which you see from a background more Indian, suddenly they are European. Why is this happening? The algorithm doesn't understand what's happening on the picture. It's the way he's calculating, trying to match that with other information. Now, what does it have everything to do that with us? The thing is actually, we have to ask ourselves which technology will help us or is already ready to help us to move on. These are two pictures coming from New York. This is 1903, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's no car, just one. Horse, 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 tram, horse, 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 horse. So 70 years later, how many horses do you see? Actually one. It's over there here. And the rest are cars. So the thing is actually not, probably you hear that every time that this times a lot of changes are happening. Things are changing heavily, quick. Already this was happening 100 years ago. The question is actually, why did that happen? The first thing is technology. Suddenly we had engines, and with that we could replace horses and actually move more efficient through the world. On the other side, regulation. Regulation allowed actually that cars are driving on our streets. And it's funny, if you have afterwards time, please Google the first car accident on the world. Actually happened because there were no rules. The two cars that didn't know on which side of the street they had to drive, so they crashed. And that was the starting point where regulation started for the traffic. And this is always, the question is actually how regulation will help us to move from something like that to this. It is not always bad. It also helps you to bring out more efficient technology on the market. This brings us back to feedback and also to our solutions that we are developing for our clients. Our vision is actually quite simple. It's like on the picture of New York. The city itself didn't change that many. The buildings were already there. But what happened is what's happening between the buildings. So what we're doing now through our solutions, actually, we're changing the background, the requirements. So you don't have to change the infrastructure. It's something that we're looking closely with WealthArc. We change that. We make API changes. For you, the only thing you have to do is actually to understand feedback and understand how it's actually displayed on your platform, but you don't have to make infrastructure changes. What we're also doing for you is actually bring the client context, like cross-border classifications of feedback, Luxembourg law, etc., all together automatically. We combine that with rules. For independent asset management, we developed the solution with KPMG together. And also we bring the product data which is required to make the check. You don't have to buy it. We have that on our side. We run the check for you. And the solution is simple. You get, as mentioned by WealthArc, green, yellow, red with a rationale why the product is not working. And there's a lot of features we can add on that, like automated switches, etc. The solution itself, it's available through different channels. So we're not restricting you, no way. It's fully integrated in the WealthArc platform. We even have a Refinitiv icon app, which we can show you, and additional solutions like Nextel add-in or web solution if you like to move or to check this kind of checks on different platforms. And this is it, actually. If you want to learn more about the Refinitiv app, please feel free to approach me. If you want to learn more about the integration of WealthArc, please approach also me or Sylvian, and we are happy to show you how we did that. Thanks a lot.